Hey everyone, welcome to Psychology with my wife.
I'm the wife.
And I'm the psychology student.
Welcome to episode 15.
Yeah, episode 15.
It's been a while.
Yes, maybe 2 months?
Yeah, I think our last episode we posted in September.
Yeah, we just ghosted everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. Everyone probably thought they failed.
Yes.
They gave up already.
Yep. It's no longer, the Psychology with my wife is no longer.
No, we are still here, promise. We just had a crazy few months. We had a family death, unfortunately, that was really difficult for us. And then Julian started a new job, and I was finishing my last semester of my PhD courses, and we just could not find any time.
No, it was quite hectic. And when I started this job, they made it seem like it's part-time, so you're not guaranteed any hours. Like some weeks it might be more and less. So I was assuming that maybe I would get 8 days a month. But it's basically as much as I want to work, I can.
Yeah, they're pretty much begging him all the time to come in.
I guess context, though, I don't think we shared with you my new job, what it is.
Tell them what your job is.
Yeah, so I'm working as a residential counselor for youth with autism. And so the kids I'm working with in the house I'm working with, usually, they're nonverbal, pretty low functioning, but they're amazing. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's definitely been a really fulfilling job for you.
Yeah, I love going to work.
And it does work really good with his schooling because he gives them his school schedule, so they know he can't work during these certain times.
Yeah, and they are good about that so far. So let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good. We do ABA therapy there, so that's something I don't think I'll for sure do in the future, but getting exposure.
People probably don't know what ABA therapy is, love.
Oh. Applied behavioral analysis, and it's basically the gold standard to working with autism. Basically, it just literally, as the name suggests, you look at the behaviors, you analyze them, and then from there you go on to develop a plan on how to mitigate maladaptive behaviors and promote good behaviors.
Yeah, you've definitely been learning things that are going to be really helpful throughout your career.
Yeah, and I want to go into at least somewhat some psychometry as well, which is diagnosing whether it's mental or disabilities, and so exposure to what autism can look like is really helpful.
Yeah, and so today we are filming on the 22nd of December, and we're hopefully going to have this episode posted for Christmas Eve, so people can listen sometime during the holidays still. Both of us just finished our classes and everything, so we have a little bit of free time. Unfortunately, though, I'm sick, so not a great time for me to be talking a lot, but we decided it would be really fun to do a Christmas Reddit special. So I did find a bunch of funny stories for us on Reddit to go over together, but since I'm unfortunately sick, we are going to have Julian be our Reddit reader. So he hasn't seen or read any of these stories before, so he's still going to have a bit of a blind reaction in that sense. But of course, I did read them when I found them, but it'll be really fun to listen to Julian telling the stories to me this time. And yeah.
Well, I think that's everything we wanted to share with you. Let's get into the episode. The first subreddit we're going to look at is Am I the A-hole? And we've looked at a couple of stories from this in past episodes. And obviously this episode is going to be a Christmas theme. Okay, so the first post here that we're going to look at is Am I the A-hole for not downgrading the family pre-feast hike on Christmas for my son's girlfriend. Okay. Ever since I can remember, our family has always gone on a hike the morning of Christmas. We did it all through my childhood. My husband's family did it. My friends' families are similar, though for some it's just a walk, or some go into the city and do an easy 5 or 10K run.
Okay. An easy 5 or 10K run.
Family of Olympians here. My son Porter has been dating Emily for the last 6 months. I'm happy she's going to join us. They're coming from the city about 3 hours away, so they'll be staying overnight. I've met Emily before and think she's a great match for Porter. I know there's all the hoopla about the MILDIL dynamic.
Mother-in-law, daughter-in-law.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I just have no time for any of that. If Porter likes her and she treats him with kindness, and he the same, who am I to complain? I Skyped with them on Thanksgiving. Oh my God, Skyped? Okay, Grandma. I Skyped with them on Thanksgiving. Just making plans for who's bringing what for Christmas, gifts and such. And I mentioned that she should remember to bring her hiking boots. We'll have plenty of yak tracks if the trails are icy. Yak tracks are like those spikes on the bottom of your shoe. She was visibly confused and asked what for, so I explained. She got quiet and asked if she had to. I said no, of course she doesn't have to, but we've always done this, and I was surprised Porter didn't mention it. The next day, Porter called and explained that Emily is not in great shape and would struggle with keeping up, even on one of the easier trails nearby. He said that maybe we should just do a nice short family walk in the neighborhood this year so she feels more welcome. I said that maybe the two of them can hang back and enjoy a nice quiet morning before the festivities begin with the rest of us go for a hike. I remember being young with Porter's father and how special those early Christmas mornings always were. Plus, this will be our first time with the family, and it's going to be a lot. Porter got annoyed and said that I'm not hearing him. He said that he really thinks we should cut the hike down or make different plans. I told him in return this is a family tradition that goes back for years, and changing it for one person isn't fair to the rest of the family. We're at a stalemate. I even said that if we hang back for the morning, I'd be happy to go on a nice walk with Emily and Porter later in the day, during a quiet moment. He said I'm still not hearing. Am I the a-hole for not being willing to downgrade the hike to a little stroll around the neighborhood?
Okay, so what's your immediate thought here?
I'm actually really conflicted as I was reading.
Don't read any comments yet.
My first thought is that they've only been dating for 6 months. And I get that if there's a family tradition that goes way back, on one hand, is it if you're not engaged or anything that they're going to be part of the family for sure. Is it really something that you want to change your yearly tradition that's been going on forever? But at the same time, it's not that big of a deal to change it from this intense hike to a little stroll. I think that would be the kinder solution and more welcoming to his girlfriend, because what if she does stay long term? Then there's this initial, like, one of the first experiences with the family, and I would be a little bitter about that, or maybe not bitter, but like anxious about it.
See, but your point there, I can actually completely flip it. Because you're saying they should be nice and switch the tradition just for this 1 year to welcome her into the family in case she stays with the family forever. But if they do it this 1 year and then she stays a part of the family forever, is the tradition going to be changed forever?
No.
So then what, the next year, then it's like, get in the gym, girl, you're coming on the hike?
Different plan next year, but I think
she has more preparation notice.
Yeah, well, as a gesture though, and then she can decide if that's something, like if she fits in with the family, right? I mean, in my opinion, that's not something that's like, oh, okay, maybe you don't fit in. I don't know. Maybe that's a little hardcore. But so if you had to decide though, would you change the tradition or not?
I wouldn't.
No.
So I think the mom was actually really reasonable in how she was offering that. Like, she made two options, or two really nice offers. She was like, you guys can just stay home together. And I agree that if, for example, you and I, we had just been dating for 6 months. Obviously, we were engaged before our 6-month anniversary, but still, if it had been 6 months and we were in this situation and I really didn't feel like I would be able to handle a hike like that, I would. And the mom mentioned, like, she's going to be with the family all day. That can be kind of overwhelming. So I would just take advantage of having that morning alone with you, and maybe we do some baking, we watch a Christmas movie together.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I think that can be a nice time.
Although you want to be part of the family, look out for yourself a little bit.
Exactly.
If that's going to, like, you being around the family is going to make you anxious, you're just going to be anxious when they're there. So take your time.
Well, and the whole time that they don't go on the hike, if they do something else, I imagine she would feel really anxious about that.
About not being on the hike, you mean? Or?
No, about them changing the plans, because she's going to know that all of them are sitting there, a little bit annoyed that they're not getting to do their tradition. They're not on the hike, and they're sitting doing what? Like, what are they going to do instead of their hike that they might enjoy? And I'm also interested in whether Emily actually knows that Porter is asking his mom to change this tradition, or if he's kind of doing this on her behalf because he knows that she is uncomfortable. Because I am kind of willing to bet that Emily wouldn't actually want his whole family to change their tradition. Because I feel like if you feel embarrassed about not being able to finish a hike, you'd feel more singled out and embarrassed if everyone had to give up something they really love to do to accommodate you.
My other question too is, how unfit is she really? Like, I mean, obviously there's the point where you literally couldn't do it, or is it just the fact that she doesn't exercise much and she wouldn't like it?
Or she might just feel embarrassed during it. If everyone else is fit and going and just having like laughs and fun during the hike, but she's like out of breath and like, to me, not gonna lie, that would not be my ideal start to a Christmas morning.
No, it wouldn't.
Like, I would want to start the morning, snuggled up with PJs on the couch and some hot chocolate and snacks, and not sweating it out on a trail.
So I actually was just thinking too, I'm not going to side with you, but I just wanted to clarify that when I say that they should mend their tradition a little bit just to make her feel, I don't mean like, she mentioned going on an easier, or he did, that even she wouldn't be able to deal with a easier walk. In my opinion, maybe it's just different for other avid hikers, but if the difference between an extreme walk and through the woods and just an easier walk through the woods, I think I would still enjoy that. But I would not enjoy walking down the street for 2 blocks and then going home.
Well, that's what he actually suggested, though, in his post. He said she wouldn't be able to do one of the easier trails, and they should just walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah, no. I disagree with that, but if that's, okay, maybe I am siding with you.
Well, and so I know you haven't read any of the comments yet, but I remember looking at the comments myself, and I know someone commented a suggestion that maybe they could go for the start of the hike with them, and then the two of them could stop and have a little picnic or something, and then just
honestly,
head back.
that would just be perfect.
Yeah.
He should take charge in that and solve the situation. Not as just a man, but just as the person that's part
inviting
of the family.
Someone to their home.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be perfect. It'd be like, oh, it's our first Christmas together. We want to spend some time together.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you don't have to make it, oh, Emily's out of shape and she can't hike with us. Make it, oh, I really would like some alone time to celebrate this holiday with Emily. You guys go, or will join you for a little bit or something, but you can make the focus of it. Like, I really want to spend time with Emily, not Emily is more out of shape than everyone else in our family.
Yeah. But I just find it odd. Okay, here's my whole, what I'm confused about it. She should be able to go on an easy walk. Obviously, if, what is it, love comes in different ways and stuff, she could be have a different lifestyle than him. But if his whole family does hiking and stuff, I'm assuming he's also like athletic to some extent, right? And like an easy walk, even if you're overweight, is not hard. Like yeah.
Well, my one thought that I had was the mom said she's met Emily before.
Oh, right.
So, and she seems shocked by the fact that Emily wouldn't be able to do it. So that suggests to me that she isn't, extremely overweight or something, because if she was extremely overweight, you would hope that the mom would have recognized earlier on that wouldn't have been, an appropriate activity, that she maybe might not have wanted to participate in it. So, but it could be that she just really has no interest in hiking, and it's not even so much that she wouldn't have the physical capability to do it, but that she would just hate it.
Yeah, I think that's so, and maybe that's a reason why she wouldn't fit in with the family.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but
she could fit in other ways.
Yeah,
stuff,
I guess,
so.
but yeah. It's just a thought on that.
But either way, Porter should be able to resolve this very easily. It doesn't need to be a big issue, in my opinion. And I don't think the mom is an a-hole, because I think she offered a lot of solutions.
No, she offered solutions, and that's the biggest part that makes her not the a-hole. It also doesn't say how old they are, because I guess I can understand a lot more if they're younger. But if you're older, you should have enough. I think you should have enough of awareness that there is other solutions.
Well, I'm assuming they're at least in their 20s, because they live a couple hours away in the city, so I'm assuming they're at least in their 20s.
All right, we have another post from the Am I the A-hole subreddit. Would I be the a-hole if I told my friend not to send me a Christmas card from her baby? Okay. Telling my first guess before even reading it, she's the asshole. Oh. My first guess before reading it is that she is the a-hole.
Okay.
Let's go from
that would be my inkling too.
Okay.
Why wouldn't she want a Christmas card from a baby?
I know, right? Unless the baby's like, she's like, oh, this baby's so ugly, I hate her. Which is like
You're still the a-hole. You don't have to put it on your fridge and look at it every day.
I am a happily child-free adult. Babies have always made me super uncomfortable. I don't like looking at them, being in their presence, or hearing about them. I used to have panic attacks if I had to be near a baby or toddler,
oh my goodness,
even for a minute or two. Okay, let's start. If a baby or toddler touched me, I'd freak out and have to wash off a few layers of skin. I don't know what caused such an intense reaction, but it's always been like this. I've always been working on at least being more cordial and tolerant with babies and toddlers, to the point that I no longer have panic attacks. However, they still make me very uncomfortable, and I don't want anything to do with them. I have a friend, we'll call her Sally, who knows that I do not like babies and how uncomfortable they make me. Sally had a baby several months back. I was polite and congratulated her. Ever since, every so often, she'll randomly message me about her baby. She'll start with, I know you don't like babies, but... and then send pictures of her baby. Tell me about toys or clothes she bought for her baby, etc. I usually reply in brief messages like, nice, or okay, and leave it at that.
Brief messages, okay. Look, my baby did this amazing thing. They started walking. Don't they look cute? Okay.
Nice, period. I don't want to be mean, So I just give the minimal response. I delete photos immediately. Oh my gosh. Usually our conversations too, because I'm not interested. Sally and I are not, nor have we been, close friends. Recently, Sally posted in a group chat we're both in asking for people's addresses if they want to receive a Christmas card from her baby. That's how she worded it. I figured if I didn't fill out the document, that would be an easy, non-confrontational way to ensure that I would not be receiving a baby pictures in the mail. Unfortunately, Sally messaged me privately today asking for my address so she could send me a Christmas card. So my silent opt-out is no longer an option. Will I be the a-hole if I tell her I don't want a Christmas card from her baby and to please stop sending me photos and updates about the baby? Why do you say? Why is she the a-hole?
Well, I have one point of confliction over whether she is, and it only comes from in her post where she says, we are not and never have been close friends. Because then I'm like, okay, well, if you're not close friends, why is this person sending you this?
Yeah.
Because I also could agree to some extent if someone that I really wasn't close with was constantly bombarding me with baby stuff, even though I love babies and think they're so cute, I might find it annoying.
No, I
well.
agree too. It's just like when you work with someone or just one of your friends just constantly talks about their baby and the insignificant things the baby does, it gets on your nerves a little bit.
Unless it's like someone you're really close with and you have a relationship with the baby, then it's like, oh, I want to know everything.
Yeah.
But when it's someone you're distant from, it's the same if they're sending you a bunch of things about their dogs or something.
Yeah, I think it's a little, her friend, quotation mark, is a little unaware of what she's actually doing and a little inconsiderate because she's like, I know you don't like babies, and then sends pictures of babies. It's like, why would you do that? That's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's exactly the point I was making.
It's like she knows what she's doing makes her friend uncomfortable. Yeah. So if you actually consider her your friend, why are you constantly making them uncomfortable?
My first also, I think this, the poster, the OP here, she doesn't have many relationships. I can tell you that right now. It's very clear. If she has panic attacks from being around babies, and I'm not saying that's like she's a bad person because of that. I just know there's something else there mentally that is stopping her from having many friends and being able to live like a, what's the word? Like a fulfilled life. If that, she said she's happily child-free. She's a happily child-free adult. Doesn't sound like she's too happy if every time she goes out, she sees a baby, she has a panic attack. I mean, that's something.
Well, she said she's working on it and she doesn't have panic attacks anymore.
Yeah.
So true. I'm glad she's working on it because I can't imagine living your life with something like that. That would be terrible.
Yeah. Without knowing much about her, there's obviously something unconsciously that she's dealing with that's obviously not actually scared of a baby.
Yeah.
A whole harmless thing.
That's the reason I chose this story is because it's just one of those, it's not totally black and white. Because at first when you hear the concept, it's like, oh my goodness, you're a total a-hole. Get over yourself. But then, especially it's just the fact that they're not close friends.
Yeah.
It just seems a little inappropriate. I would never, if I had someone that I wasn't close friends with and we had a baby or, I don't know, just some random thing. I don't know what a dog or something. And you're just constantly, your friend has like a fear of dogs and can't be around dogs because they're really scared of them. Maybe they had a traumatic experience with one when they were young, but you kept sending them photos of dogs. Like,
that would be so rude.
Right?
Well, traumatizing too. It's like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, we all love babies, but I guess if there really is this thing going on with her, I think what she needs to do is grow up and have an adult conversation with her acquaintance about this Because it's also a little unfair to the friend to some degree, because maybe the friend doesn't know to what degree they don't like babies. Like maybe they just think, oh, they don't want kids of their own, but they don't understand how like traumatizing and harmful it is to them to be seeing this.
Yep.
And if you're not close friends, then maybe you just want to say to them, hey, like, I'm really glad you're doing well and things are good with your child. But
I feel like they're not actually friends, if that makes sense. Like she said, they're both in a group chat. I feel like they're just friends of friends in the group chat.
maybe.
And they're just associated with each other.
Yeah.
They're associates. Cool. What do people say about this one? Do you remember anything?
No, I don't remember this one.
Oh, that's smart.
What?
They said you put your address, give them the address, don't open the card, take tongs to use it to get it out of the mailbox and drop it in the garbage.
That's true. Like, you could just get the mail and not look at it.
That's a good solution, actually.
But it's not a solution, really. That's like a Band-Aid. Because, sure, you don't look at the one Christmas card, but then you're probably going to get birthday cards and any other cards they might send out. And you're still going to be getting the text messages. Because I think the bigger problem here is the text messages with the photos of baby and the updates about baby. Okay, want to move on to the next story?
Sure, yeah, let's get through these. So this next one comes from the subreddit Relationship Advice. Can't stop being upset that my girlfriend's family does not want me to be part of Christmas breakfast and wants me to come later in the day. Little backstory. I've been dating my girlfriend for about 6 months or so. So the this post is poorly written, so
Yeah, sometimes you get that on Reddit, so you'll just have to fill in the blanks a little.
So originally we were going to do breakfast morning at her parents', then go to mine after we finished. Well, last night I was informed that her parents want breakfast to be just family and that they want me to come later in the morning when they open gifts. That they want to keep that part in our family. Oh my gosh. Only tradition, at least for now. It's been eating me all day. She said, well, I could just hang out at her apartment till then. She also kind of agrees and wants to spend more time with her family alone. I think what's bugging me is that now I have nothing to do Christmas morning because my family is not doing their breakfast because we made room for her family event. I'm not sure how to feel. Like, if this was the original plan, I don't think it would have bugged me as bad. Any advice or thoughts on getting over it? Like, I get that this is new and understand that they want to keep that in their family for now, but it is still disappointing to me. And they also provided an edit. I can't do breakfast with my family as they have their own plans for Christmas morning. Okay.
Did they say how long they were dating?
6 months.
6 months and their ages?
No.
I think they might be in a comment.
Okay.
Can you scroll and find it if it's there? Because I feel like they were like a bit older.
I don't know. What are your thoughts so far? I'll find it. 31 and 26.
Yeah, 31 and 26K. I was pretty sure they were a little bit older. Because I'm like, at that point, you know, if they were 18 years old and they've been dating for 6 months, I'd be like, okay, I can understand her family being like, you're 18. Who is this guy? How serious is this? Like, we just want to spend time with our family together and not have you distracted by him, etc. That I could understand. But 26 and 31, when you've been dating for 6 months, at that point in time, to me, you should kind of know whether it's serious or not. And if it's not serious, then why are you even spending Christmas with each other's families at all? And if it is serious, then you should be included in those family moments.
Yeah. It really makes me think of Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
How the dad doesn't want him to come. I can't remember exactly what it is, but basically the whole time he doesn't want him involved and he just wants his daughter involved. That's honestly, that sucks.
I would be really, really, really offended if
Almost to the point that you would want to break up with him.
I would probably have been reevaluating it if, at year and my 6-month mark, if it was Christmas time. And obviously, yeah, we were engaged at that point, but if we weren't, but we knew how serious we were, and we had this plan in place, and then your family said they didn't want me there, and you agreed, because that's the big thing. The partner, the girlfriend agrees.
Yeah, that's the biggest part for me too.
Yeah, because like even if the family said that and then the girlfriend said no, he's coming, or said, well, if you don't want him there, I'm spending Christmas morning with him. We'll both come later. Yeah. Something like that. Okay. But the fact that she goes, yeah, even though we've had this plan and your family has now changed their plans to accommodate, I actually don't want you there.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. They've been dating for 6 months too.
And they're just older.
Yeah, they're older. And it's just like, I get that sometimes the family dynamics, you can't, it doesn't say what kind of culture they come from, but sometimes it's really like, your dad decides what's going to happen and you don't go, that's it. There's no arguing.
Yeah, of course, we can only go kind of based on what our families are like, and we know that neither of our families would do something like that. So I'd be interested, anyone who's listening, let us know in the comments if you're on YouTube or something, or on our Instagram, what you would think about the situation, and if you think that maybe you could see your family having a similar reaction and not wanting your partner to be involved in some of your traditions, especially keeping in mind their ages.
Yes.
They're not teenagers or something.
And yeah, just everything. You know what? It's unfortunate that the parents had to do that, because that forces a conversation that maybe they didn't want to have. Or didn't even need to have.
Yeah. But to me, again, it's just like, if you shouldn't be spending Christmas with each other's families, in my perspective, unless you're feeling serious.
Yeah. 6 months is that weird. It's obviously, as the stories we've read so far, is that weird limbo zone where you're like new, but you're not. So I do agree with you on that, is that like, if you shouldn't, you don't necessarily need to be with each other's families when you've only been dating that long. So
unless you know you're serious.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, of course. And that's one of the first comments I read here, is that I understand your disappointment, but I wouldn't take it personally. You're in a new relationship, so I think it's fair that her family wants to keep it in the family, so to speak, with their Christmas morning traditions.
If they hadn't already made different plans.
True, yes.
Which is what I wonder, though, is had her family agreed to this whole breakfast thing and then they changed their mind, or had she not actually run the plans by them? And then when she eventually was like, oh, yeah, he's coming, they were like, no.
Yeah.
Not comfortable with that.
Or she knew the whole time and she was scared to have the conversation with him.
True.
And didn't tell him till right before. I could see that also.
Yeah, but either way, I feel like this poor guy definitely needs to have a serious conversation with her and reevaluate. But what would you do? So if you had to make that decision of, okay, what do I do Christmas morning now? Do I happily go after breakfast and open presents with them? Because I feel, for me, that might feel a little bit awkward to come after you were essentially disinvited from their morning, to then show up and be like, oh, hey, how was your great breakfast you had together? I sat by myself for hours, but now I'm going to be here and pretend to be happy and open presents with you.
I would go and I would ask to speak with the dad.
Ooh.
Seriously. It wouldn't be like a screw you, but like it would just be like, look, I have feelings for your daughter and stuff, and although I understand your tradition, there's no hard feelings and stuff, but I would appreciate being involved. Something like that. I don't know. I'd have to
So you'd
think.
go to the dad, not the daughter, not the girlfriend?
The day of, I would talk to the dad.
Okay.
If he's the one making the decisions, that's the
Did
family.
the post say that the dad was the one specifically? Because I don't think it did.
Oh, okay. I'm just assuming here. Sorry. If it was the mom that did it, I would talk to her too, or talk to her instead.
Oh, if it was her brother.
Her brother.
Yeah. And he's 11 years old. And he just really wanted his sister by him to himself.
Then I would talk to her sister. What would you do?
What would I do?
You said you wouldn't. You'd feel uncomfortable.
I would feel uncomfortable. I think I would talk with my partner beforehand. Like, I'd have to come to some kind of a resolution beforehand. And I'd have to have... It would depend how committed I feel. Like, is this the person I want to be with? Because if this is the person I want to be with, I would need to find out if they feel the same way. And if they don't, then I'd probably say, you know what, maybe let's just both spend Christmas with our own families and potentially reevaluate things later. But I don't think I'd want to go to someone's family Christmas when they disinvited me from part of it. I would feel very uncomfortable. So I would just want to go be with my family.
Again, I wish, obviously it's, who knows. There's so much like stuff that's not included. You'd never know what's actually happening. Like, are they really lying about what happened? Not this poster, but the other, what's actually happening behind that he doesn't see. So.
Yeah, we can only go based off of what they wrote.
Yeah, he's like, that tells you where you stand in her eyes. Yeah. Also, okay, I guess to add to that too, if they were 18, I could see that more, that she would listen to her parents about it. But since she's older, she should really understand that if she wants
to build a life with this guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it tells me she clearly is not taking the relationship potentially as seriously as he is.
I also don't, at the same time, I don't understand what he's saying, that his family has plans that he can't take part in anymore. And that's weird.
Yeah, maybe they're going to someone else's place for the morning and he just doesn't want to try to get an invite to it or something.
Right.
Or maybe he didn't mention if he has siblings, so maybe his parents are like just meeting some of their friends in the morning.
Yeah.
Or maybe he has a sibling and his parents are going with that sibling to like his spouse's house, or there could be something that, but I'm willing to bet that if he asked his family, they would probably include him.
Yeah. I feel like this guy he's lacking some communication skills. Their relationship is also lacking communication. Because this conversation should be had like in November almost. It's like, hey, what are we doing for Christmas? Like, maybe let's just do our own thing.
Well, it seems like they did have the conversation though, because his family changed their plans to fit her family's schedule. Which I guess like we've gotten to experience too what our Christmases look like now that we're together, and what we've found works for us so far at least is spending Christmas Eve with your family and then staying over at your parents, doing Christmas Eve with your mom's side, and then Christmas morning with your dad's side, and then we leave at like just after lunch and spend the rest of the day and evening with my family. That works well for like my siblings getting to also go with their spouses' families in the morning and stuff. And then,
of course, yeah.
So yeah, that works for us.
It also says in the post here, I just wanted to reiterate, it says They want to keep that part in the family, in the family tradition only, at least for now. That's poorly worded, but if they did tell them like, hey, we want this to be just for now, I think that's a little better too, right? What do you think? Yeah.
I guess it's just, what does just for now mean? In their mind, is it just for now because you're not engaged, you're not married? And then if they're together for a year and a half next Christmas, but they're still not engaged, still not married, does it change? Because is their perspective perhaps of in the family, meaning like you need to be married and then we'll include you in these very personal traditions for our family? Who knows?
Who knows? The fourth one we have is from a subreddit called Unpopular Opinion. I just picture that guy with a coffee cup saying he's sitting at the table and there's the meme.
Oh yeah, it changed my mind.
Yeah. All right. Our fourth one that we're going to look at today comes from a subreddit called Unpopular Opinion. The build up to Christmas is better than Christmas itself.
That is controversial.
When it's the middle of November, everyone is talking about how many sleeps there are until Christmas, what they want, what they're getting people. The majority of people are happy and in a festive mood, blasting happy Christmas songs while putting up their decorations while wearing Christmas jumpers. The day it becomes December, everyone is opening their advent calendars with Christmas on their mind from the start of the day to the end of the day. Games, series, animated series are making a Christmas-themed episode or items for their game. On the 24th of December, everyone is talking about Christmas. Everyone is happy and excited to get their Christmas presents. Christmas music is being blasted out of every house. Then it's Christmas. You get what you want, you eat Christmas dinner, and now there's nothing to be excited for. You just spending the day using what you got, completely disregarding the fact that it's Christmas. You may be thinking, what about New Year's Day? Well, yes, a lot of fun happens on the day, but most people get drunk and cannot remember it at all. Agree or disagree?
You know what? I actually agree a little bit. I think it depends what your Christmas Day looks like, though, because Christmas Day looks a lot different for people, but there is a lot of excitement leading up to Christmas, and that is partially a lot of the fun of it, right? It's just kind of, they listed most of the things, but just all of those like festive TV shows, music everywhere, decorations everywhere. Like it makes November, mid-November to the end of December go by really fast because there's just constant excitement.
Well, yeah. I think the build up to Christmas is better than Christmas Day, but that's because, like you just mentioned, there's so much stuff to do that's Christmas themed up until. I think it would be better to look at Christmas as like a season, how it is. It's holiday season, because you're obviously not going to do everything Christmas related on the day of Christmas. Yeah. But say you had unlimited time on Christmas Day, you would do all the things probably that you do coming up to it, like maybe going to festive trade shows, or you'd set up your Christmas tree before, but all these different, go look at lights, set up all your decorations, blah, blah, blah. That adds to Christmas, I think.
Yeah, I like that way. It's definitely a season to enjoy, and there shouldn't be too much pressure just on the single day. Because I think I had a period of my life where I do think Christmas Day felt not disappointing, but just less exciting than it did before and after that period. Like there were a few years, or I don't know, 1 or 2 years, can't remember how long, but there was a period where both of my brothers had their partners, and so Christmas Day just started to look different at my house. You know, my dad often is working on Christmas Day, so he'd be gone for work, and then both of my brothers would be gone to their partners' homes for at least the morning of Christmas. And so we wouldn't be opening gifts or stockings or anything. And it would just be me and Mom, and we would usually be cleaning house, getting food ready. So it's kind of like everyone else is gone and me and Mom are together working, really.
Right.
And obviously I love Mom so much, and anytime we get together is great, but it was just different, right? It wasn't the same as years previous where you had the excitement in the morning of waking up and doing your stockings. Because at that time, Dad would go to work later. Like, we would do that stuff and then he'd go to work later. But then we kind of switched it, and Dad would go to work earlier in the morning so he could come back earlier so we could have our dinner once my brothers come back from their partners' houses and stuff. So it just changed. And so definitely for me, there were a few years where it was kind of like, oh, wow, Christmas.
Yeah. Well, and also I think Christmas Day, if you were to ask a 6-year-old, is leading up to Christmas better than Christmas Day? They would say no, because you get a bunch of gifts on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So just how you view the world and like the excitement of opening up gifts, it kind of loses its luster when you're older because you can buy your own stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So.
But now Christmas is awesome because we get to split our time between both of our families. So we're just like in this constant bombardment of like love and excitement with all of these people. And then especially because my siblings do have so many kiddos now, so that's like a huge part of the excitement, is just getting to watch the kids opening their presents and having so much fun. So I think it's just Christmas itself is a season, but it also changes throughout your different seasons of life.
Yeah. I still think though that, like, my mom's side of the family does Christmas Eve together and Christmas. I really enjoy everyone getting together and just having fun. Like, you seen that we just play a bunch of games.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Yeah. I really do like that, the day of Christmas. So.
But that's because you have a big family that does that, right? I didn't grow up with that. It was just my immediate family. But you have a huge family that gets together. All your cousins, all your aunts and uncles come together. So it's a very different experience for you. And it was a very different experience for me this last year, participating in that for the first time versus what my Christmas has normally looked like. Because normally my Christmases are fairly, well, not now that we have so many kiddos around, but have been fairly like chill and just, you know, just spending relaxing time with my family and not like super festive and like games and craziness, unless we went to my cabin to see my grandparents and stuff. Then it was, of course, extra exciting doing that.
Yeah, it really depends, I guess, on your family situation. I think that's the biggest factor, is family size and your interrelational dynamic with your whole family. Yeah, so cool. Well, you mentioned that we have some games or something to play.
Not really games, but
Here, I'll give you this.
was doing some Googling about like Christmas. Hang on, let me get this. Okay, so we are going to switch from Reddit stories and go over some Christmas facts. I'm going to quiz Julian because I was doing some Googling about Christmas just in preparation for this episode. And so I was looking at like myths and facts of Christmas. So I thought I would see if Julian knows some of these, because some of them were surprising to me. So what is a Christmas song that like immediately comes to mind as like one of the most popular Christmas songs?
Jingle Bells.
Yes, absolutely it is. But was Jingle Bells originally a Christmas song? Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Jingle bells, Batman smells Robin. I'm guessing not, because you're asking me.
What holiday do you think Jingle Bells was originally written for?
Thanksgiving.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
Ring, 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 ring.
It was. So it was originally titled One Horse Open Sleigh, and the song was written in the 1850s, and it was part of the annual sleigh races that were held around Thanksgiving in Medford, Massachusetts.
Oh, interesting.
I have another fun fact about Jingle Bells.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of anywhere crazy that the song might have been played?
A church?
How about in space?
In space.
Yes.
Ooh.
To our knowledge, it is the first song ever played in space.
Wow.
Yep. December 16th, 1965.
You're telling me they don't list the music up in the space station? That's weird.
Well, maybe they do now, but in 1965, this was the first.
Yeah. Okay.
At least the first known song. Maybe they played something really trashy first, and they're like, oh, I can't put that on the record. Okay. December 25th. Is that when Jesus was born?
Yes.
No. So.
Is that when he got to the stables or something?
No. So Jesus' birth wasn't actually considered a special day until the 4th century, when a church decided that they needed some kind of a big celebration, apparently to pull attention away from the winter solstice celebrations that were being favored by pagans.
Pagans.
Yeah, apparently. So then the church, or this church, or a group of churches, I'm not sure, but they proclaimed December 25th as Jesus's birthday so that they could have this celebration. And so most scholars actually agree that Jesus was likely born near the end of September, based on a bunch of kind of clues in the Bible about, you know, livestock being out in the field, what the weather looked like. There was like a census going on at the time that typically would only happen in like the fall and stuff. So yeah, I think
Nice.
so. They actually said they're like, it's actually very, 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 very unlikely.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
it could be, but very unlikely. So for
All right. That's a cool fact.
Right? It's like due to the battle of some religious institutions, Jesus' birthday was proclaimed as December 25th.
Nice.
And now we all have gone with it. So, do we actually... Oh, we don't even have a nativity scene, do we?
No.
No. I guess we didn't mention this, but Julian and I are celebrating Christmas in Toronto. Because of Julian's new job, we weren't able to get time to go to Alberta to be with our family. So we're celebrating in Toronto. My
little tree.
Yeah, my mom gifted us a super cute tree and then mailed us some of my ornaments that I had as a little girl. And then we went to a thrift store and we bought some other decor from the thrift store. But yeah, I guess we don't have a nativity scene.
In the future.
The nativity scene, is that an accurate portrayal of what Jesus' birth would have looked like?
No, I don't think the animals came and watched him that they always have in the nativity scene. I don't think everyone was like, oh my gosh. I think Jesus was probably born, and then those 3 wise men came along afterwards, after he was born.
Shortly after, like...
I feel like way after. Yeah.
That's a pretty good bet.
Because hear me out. Here's my theory. If he was born in September, that's when the North Star would start telling them, oh, he's born. This is where he is. Because he didn't actually exist and they couldn't pinpoint a location.
He existed in Mary's belly.
I guess. But did he actually? Anyway, so that's when the star would start telling him to go. So I think it would be a couple months probably. Maybe, well, depends how far they're away. But it would take him some time to get there. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah, you're pretty close. Like, pretty spot on, honestly. So, there's a few discrepancies between how the nativity scene is conveyed. So, one of the first ones is that it's actually most likely that they did not give birth in a stable. Mm-hmm. So, there's belief that there's been like mistranslations of what happened, and that they, this whole idea of there were no rooms in the inn and so they got put in the stable isn't really true, and that the word was translated wrong, and that they were actually put in in a room.
Okay.
So wouldn't have been a bunch of animals around for that. And then, yeah, you're right with the 3 wise men. So it's believed that they didn't come. So Jesus was born in Bethlehem. And then he's from, I think, Nazareth, though. And so it's believed, or at least some of these scholars say, that the wise men actually went to visit him in Nazareth, not in Bethlehem.
Oh, okay.
And when the wise men in the Bible talk to, like, it says something about, like, when the Magi, so the wise men, talked to Herod about the fact that Jesus was born, that there was this new king. Herod is under the assumption that he needs to kill any boys under 2 years old. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so that suggests that, and then the Magi go after. Like, the Magi visit Jesus after they talk to Herod. Mm-hmm. So it's assumed that he could be. And then there was this time of purification that Mary had to go through, 40 days of purification after she gave birth, before they would have, like, had visitors and stuff, it seems. So it's kind of believed that anywhere between, like, 40 days and 2 years old. Yeah.
Interesting. It's also interesting how in the Bible there's, it appears that it's traditions, but it's actually like rules to follow. Like, for example, the purification period she went through makes sense to have that time to recover.
Yeah.
Right? They call it purification, but it's recovery period.
Well, what I was reading about, it actually really is like a purification, because at that time they considered women to be dirty after.
Dirty.
Yeah. So, yeah. Don't love that, but. Okay. I have only 2 more. So, the song "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." Do you think it's a happy song, angry song, sad song?
It's about people that hate another group. It's like, we wish you a Merry Christmas. That's what I think it is.
Honestly, you're pretty close. So the song was often sung by crowds of lower class servants as they demanded, apparently it says alcohol, but I'm sure other things as well, from their masters during the festive period. So the lyric, "We won't go until we get some," was used to get their point across. And so they would sing the song in kind of like a threatening way.
Interesting.
Which is interesting, but then it's also like gross that you'd have to, sing to get a threat across to be treated properly. Sad. Okay, our last one here is about the top grossing Christmas movies. So I have the top 8 here. Do you want to place a bet on what some of them are?
The number 1 is a black and white film, is my guess. And it's from the 60s. What the heck?
Not a single movie in the top 8 is from the 60s.
Really?
Well, keep in mind, top grossing means like when it was initially released, what it earned. So not like over.
Okay, I take that back. Can I take that back?
Yeah, take it back.
Top grossing. Elf is up there.
Elf is number 8.
Oh, really? Miracle on Christmas Street or something. No?
Not on there. At least from this list I'm
Home
using.
Alone.
Home Alone is number 2, and Home Alone 2 is number 3.
Oh. Die Hard is number 1.
No, not on the list. That would be a tragedy.
That'd be awesome. What the heck? Okay.
Think green.
The Grinch. Number 1?
Which one? There's more than one Grinch.
Jim Carrey's The Grinch. No?
Number 4.
Oh. So multiple Grinches in this list.
Maybe.
I don't know any other Grinch.
Just, it's called The Grinch.
Oh.
The one that I told you I want to watch on Christmas Eve from 2018. It's number 1.
Interesting.
It's so good. You're going to love it when you watch it.
Okay.
And then number 5 is A Christmas Carol. Number 6, The Polar Express. And number 7, Love Actually.
Cool.
So, yeah. Wow. That's everything that we had.
Cool. Well, if you like our content, this is a Christmas special Christmas episode, but go and check some of our previous episodes if you want to learn more about psychology, experiments, etc.
And we will be posting more again.
Yes,
Hopefully
we will.
We'll have like an episode a month or something.
Yeah. We definitely think an episode a month will be for sure manageable. We'll see what the schedule looks like, but for sure once a month.
Yeah. We definitely overcommitted when we initially were like 1 episode a week.
It was easy in the summer when we weren't doing
the summer
much,
was
right?
easy.
So, but with school and now that I'm working and all this different stuff, it takes some time. But anyway, if you like it, make sure you hit that notification bell on YouTube. Subscribe to our podcast for notifications on your podcast app, I guess.
Yeah, if you're listening on an app, give us a review.
Yes, we would love a review. That would be a good Christmas present.
Yeah, there you go. Give us a Christmas review.
Nice. All right. Well, see you, everyone.
Great. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and Christmas.
Bye.